Take a look at the phone in your pocket. Whether it's an iPhone, a Samsung Galaxy, or almost any modern smartphone, they all share the same basic design: a rectangular screen. It's such a common shape that most of us never stop to question it. But phones could have been circular, square, or even some other shape entirely. Yet despite all the possibilities, the rectangle became the clear winner. So why are phone screens rectangular? The answer involves human ergonomics, manufacturing, media formats, and the way digital interfaces are designed. Today, let's explore why phone screens ended up rectangular, right here on History of Simple Things. One of the biggest reasons phone screens are rectangular comes from the long history of display technology. Early electronic screens, such as televisions and computer monitors, were already rectangular decades before smartphones existed. This shape emerged because image sensors, cameras, and film formats were also rectangular, making it easier to display visual information without distortion. As display technology improved, the rectangular format became a standard across televisions, computers, and eventually mobile devices. Smartphones inherited this tradition rather than reinventing it. In fact, early smartphones typically used display proportions similar to televisions and computer monitors. Over time, most manufacturers settled on widescreen formats like 16:9 and later, taller ratios like 18:9 or 29 to match modern video and interface designs. Because so much digital media, videos, photos, and apps was already designed for rectangular screens. Continuing with that shape made technological and economic sense. Another important reason is how humans naturally view the world. Our field of vision is wider horizontally than vertically, which means rectangular shapes align well with how we process visual information. A wide display allows more information to appear within our natural viewing range without requiring excessive scrolling or head movement. This is one reason televisions, cinema screens, and computer monitors all evolved toward wider rectangular formats. When smartphones began to prioritize watching videos, browsing websites, and viewing photos, the same logic applied. Rectangular screens allow content to fill the display more efficiently and comfortably. A circular or square screen would waste space when displaying typical images, forcing either cropping or large empty areas. By using a rectangle, designers ensure that most visual content fits naturally and remains easy to see, whether the phone is held vertically or horizontally. Practicality also plays a huge role. Smartphones are devices designed to be carried in pockets, bags, and hands. Rectangles happen to be one of the most efficient shapes for fitting into tight spaces, like clothing pockets. A long, narrow rectangle can slide easily into a pocket while still providing a relatively large screen area. If phones were circular, a significant amount of usable space would be lost because the edges would be difficult to store or grip comfortably. Similarly, square phones would either be too wide to hold comfortably or too small to provide a large display. The rectangular form strikes a balance between portability and usability. It allows manufacturers to maximize screen size while keeping the phone slim and easy to carry. This balance between screen area and portability has been a key design goal in smartphone development. Modern smartphones are not just hardware devices, they are platforms for software. Every app, website, and operating system interface is designed with screen dimensions in mind. Rectangular screens provide a predictable layout that developers can easily design around. Text, images, and user interface elements naturally organize themselves in rows and columns, which work best inside rectangular boundaries. For example, scrolling lists, menus, and keyboards all rely on straight edges and aligned grids. Designing these elements for circular or irregular displays would make software development much more complicated. Rectangles also allow apps to support both portrait and landscape orientations easily. When you rotate your phone, the rectangular screen adapts smoothly to display content in different ways. This flexibility is one of the reasons smartphones became such powerful devices for reading, watching, and interacting with digital content. The rectangular shape is also closely tied to how screens are manufactured. Modern smartphone displays are made from flat sheets of glass and electronic components arranged in grid patterns. Producing rectangular panels from large sheets of material is far more efficient than cutting out circles or other shapes. Rectangular cutting maximizes the number of screens that can be produced from each sheet of glass, reducing waste and lowering manufacturing costs. In electronics, efficiency in mass production is extremely important because even small changes can significantly affect the price of millions of devices. Rectangular displays also simplify the arrangement of internal components such as batteries, circuit boards, and sensors. Straight edges make it easier to design compact layouts inside the phone. In short, the rectangular form isn't just convenient for users, it's also practical for engineers building the device. At first glance, the rectangular shape of a phone screen might seem obvious. But this design comes from a mix of history, practicality, and technology. Smartphones inherited the rectangular format from televisions and computer monitors. The shape fits human vision, slides easily into pockets, and makes screens easier to manufacture. It also works well for apps, videos, and most digital content. While screen proportions have changed over time, the rectangle remains the most practical design. Even with future technologies like foldable displays, this simple shape continues to prove why it works so well. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.